Welcome to Aspen Yoga. My name is Stacy. For today's beginning yoga session, we are going to focus on poses that decrease our stress and increase our flexibility. So a very gentle, slow yoga. What you're going to need is a blanket, if you like, just for some extra padding. We're going to sit on it, open up our hips a little bit. So go ahead and gather what you need. Meet me back on the mat for this gentle yoga session. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and sit on our blanket. So I want you to sit with your legs crossed and however that is comfortable for you. As we sit on our blanket, it elevates our hips, opening up these hip joints a little bit, so it should feel a little bit more comfortable as you sit on something that's a little bit higher. Placing your hands on your knees, palms open to the ceiling, shoulders relaxed, your spine is tall. We're really going to take some time throughout this class to focus on staying in our poses, breathing through our poses. So as we sit here in easy pose, let's just take a deep inhale and exhale. And as you settle yourself for this session, I want you to think about inhaling, filling your abdomen and then your chest. And as you exhale, letting the air out of your abdomen and then your chest. So sitting tall, as we have our palms to the sky, helps keep our shoulders down away from our ears. I want you to think of having a nice tall spine. Let's do a few more breaths together. Inhaling, sending oxygen to the fingers and the toes. Exhale, the shoulders relax, the spine is tall. Inhaling here. And exhale. One more time, inhale together. And exhaling. Continuing with our palms to the sky, shoulders relaxed. I want you to take your ear towards your shoulder. It's not going to touch, and that's okay. We're just working on, like we said, a gentle practice, working through each of our body parts, shall we say, each of our joints. Coming back to the center slowly. And ear to shoulder. Get a nice stretch right all the way from the base of your skull, through the neck, down through the shoulders. Good, back to the center. One more each side. And you really want to try to resist the bringing the shoulders up towards the ears. It doesn't matter where it goes. You just are really just focusing on this stretch, switching sides here. And as we focus on bringing our ear to the shoulder, I don't want you to let your head turn either way, so keep that forward gaze. Good, and as we come back to the center, we're just going to look over each shoulder. So keep the chin parallel to the floor, look over the shoulder. Good, slowly scanning the room as you come back to the center and switching sides. Looking over the shoulder, coming back to the center. One more each side. Good, keeping the spine tall. Good, coming back to the center. And let's look down to neutral, so straight ahead, down to neutral, one more, down, up into neutral. Good. Let's go ahead and uncross our legs. I want you to hop off your blanket for a minute, place it on the end of your mat. I want you to bring those feet out in front. You're going to support yourself on your hands behind you. And I want you just to drop your knees to one side, and then drop them to the other. So if you find like, hey, I need to be a little bit closer, you can bring that tailbone a little bit closer and you can drop side to side, open those feet up so my knee drops inside of my heel. So just side to side here. Good. Just working through the range of motion. One more each side. One and one. Good, and as we come back to the center, bringing the bottoms of your feet together for a little butterfly. And as you fold forward here, just want you to focus on folding forward. I don't want you to necessarily be pressing against your inner thighs. Let's just fold forward here, holding on to those toes, gazing forward to the floor, keeping your back straight, and let's settle in here. Nice deep breaths. From here, I want you just to bring your hands forward, palms are forward, and I do want you now to round your back. So I want you to round your back so you fall forward a little bit more, allowing the weight of your body to pull yourself forward. Good, let's come back to the toes and walk ourselves back up. Good, nice and tall. Coming into a seated figure four. So I want you to go ahead and turn sideways on your mat. And as you turn sideways on your mat here, I want you to cross your ankle over your thigh. And from here, I just want you to sit forward into the seated figure four. Okay, so as we are here, some things I want you to think about is I want you to keep a slight bend in your elbows. I don't want you to let your elbows stay locked out, lean back into the arms. So I want you to keep yourself, and even if you need to come up on your fingertips, I want you to keep yourself tall because that's where we start to feel the stretch in the hip. So I'm feeling the stretch in the hip of the ankle that is crossed. You can do a little side to side if you like. So a little bit of movement. We're going to stay here for about another 30 seconds. So if you need to give yourself a little bit more intensity, you can bring yourself in a little bit more. Remember, keep those elbows bent. Keep away from leaning into those arms. Good. Let's come back to the center. Step your tailbone away and let's get out and switch the other side. Cross it over, step it in. One side you're going to see is going to be a little bit tighter. So figure out where you are, where you're comfortable. Adjust if you need to. Oh, let yourself breathe. One side is going to be tighter and it may just be a little bit like, oh goodness, this one's a little bit more intense, shall we say. Just get a little shift. Got about 30 more seconds here, so if you rather stay still, remember those arms. We're not locking the elbows out. We're not hanging out on those arms. But the upper body is doing a little bit of work here, and that's okay. Almost done. Just let yourself really get that nice stretch. Back the tailbone away and come down. Good. Let's go ahead and come into a quadruped. So your hands and knees. I want you to grab your blanket. If you need, depending on your surface, if you need it, because we're going to be on our knees just for a little bit here. So if you need a little bit of extra padding for your knees, grab that blanket and you can just place it across your mat and you can have that extra padding. I have some carpet here, so I have plenty of padding, but if you're on a hardwood floor, maybe a little bit sensitive on your knees. In our quadruped, little cat and cow. So I want you to round your back for cat. Look up, sway in the back for cow. Good. Come into cat. And cow. Nice. Cat here. And cow. Last time cat. And cow. Good. Coming back to that neutral spine here, I'm going to go ahead and press up so that we are on our knees. And I want you to take the knee that is farthest from me, and I want you to come up into that lunge position. So as we are in the lunge position, I want you to take a deep inhale, arms up, bringing the hands together at the top, and I want you to lean forward at the waist. So lean forward at the waist, meaning belly button comes forward. I don't want you to hang out here on this front leg. I want you to stay tall. And as we stay tall, we're getting a nice stretch through the hip flexor, up into the abdomen a little bit. If you need a little bit deeper stretch, tuck those toes. When we tuck those toes, we feel the accentuation, the stretch in the front part of the leg a little bit better. So we're staying tall here. Good. Nice deep breaths. Now I want you to lean to the high knee. So you're taking your arms and you're leaning to the high knee. And when we lean to the high knee, the stretch comes to the outside of the leg. So in that hip joint, outside of that hip joint, we're feeling the stretch. Good. As we come back to the center, let's take our toes out from under. If you tucked your toes, I want you to plant your heel in front, lean forward at the waist, one hand above the knee, the other hand below the knee, or both hands, fingertips on the side of your mat. Your choice here. Oh, just some nice deep breaths. It's important here to stay off of the knee itself, but you can stay, and I'm okay with your back rounding. I want you to get into that stretch. Good. I want you to go ahead and walk your hands up. I want you to turn towards me. Foot is out to the side, inhaling up. And as you exhale, drop that hand down, and we're just going to come into just a modified plank here. So if you're on your fingertips or on your knuckles, stay tall. Chest is open. Nice deep breaths. Good. Let's cartwheel over. So press off the ground, cartwheel over, stretch down that leg. So as we stretch down the leg, you can rest that leg, run that hand down, chest is open. Nice deep breaths. Inhaling, arms up. And as you exhale, I want you to sit down on the back heel. And I just want you to lean forward into the stretch. Now as we do this, our toes are going to stay on the floor. So we're getting a nice inner thigh stretch here. Nice deep breaths. Settling in. Pressing up with your hands. Bring that foot in. Nice job. Whole sequence on the other side. Go ahead and walk your feet down. Again, the leg that is away from me. So you can always see as we go through our poses here. Inhaling up, hands together, belly button forward, stay tall. If you need a little extra, tuck that toe. Good. Tucking the toe just gives you just that little bit. If you need just a little extra stretch, that's where it's coming from. Lean to that high knee. So remember, as we lean to the high knee, stretching outside. Good. As we come back to the center, flat foot, hinge forward. So again, if we're coming to the floor, if we're above the knee, below the knee, both below, your choice here. You can allow your back to round if you like. Nice deep breaths. Good. Get a nice hold here. Walk yourselves up. Turn towards me. So as you turn towards me, bring that foot out to the side. Inhaling up. Dropping to the outside. Good. Staying tall here. Dropping down as far as you can. So whether you are on your fingertips, you are on your knuckles, or you can flat palm down, stay where you are comfortable, getting a stretch really all the way through the outside of our torso. Nice deep breaths. As we press up, drop down, reaching that arm up. So as we drop down, we're opening up the chest, dropping down the leg. Nice. As we come back up, remember, fall forward. So you're going to sit into that back heel. Foot stays down up front. Allow those muscles to relax, stretching the inner thigh. Pressing up with your hands. Let's go ahead and come back to our knees. I want you to tuck your toes. And I just want you to sit back onto the heels as you are comfortable. And if you are not comfortable on your heels, adjust where you need to. We're just stretching our toes a little bit, stretching the bottoms of our feet. We won't stay here long. I know it's not very comfortable. Good. Let's come up. Let's kiss those big toes. Bring those knees out. Slide back into child's pose. Arms stretching out in front. Nice deep breaths. Good. Walk your hands up, sitting onto your heels. Let's take our blanket. If you refolded your blanket, let's get our blanket back into just that small rectangle to sit on. And from here, I want you to take one leg and tuck it under. The other leg is going to be up high. I want you to give yourself a hug with that opposite arm and just gently twist. Chest stays tall. Nice. Coming back to the center, switching sides. So letting that leg fall down, hug, and just get a nice tall twist. Good. Coming back to the center. Sit comfortably here on your blanket. Inhale, arms up. And as you exhale, forward fold. Now as you forward fold, try not to come off of the blanket too much. You are going to pop off a little bit. Hold here. Now let's walk your hands over to the left. And as we walk to the left, allow your back to round, stretching out the opposite hip. And walk it around to the other side. Nice deep breaths. And remember, since you are sitting on the blanket, you may not fall back to the center. You may not fall as far forward into these stretches. Walk your hands up. sitting tall. Let's go ahead and sit for a little meditation. I want you to sit with your eyes closed, palms facing the ceiling, shoulders down and away from your ears. And as you take a deep inhale here, filling your abdomen and your chest, exhale, your shoulders relax, your spine is tall. Inhaling here. And exhale. And as you sit here, I want you to think about releasing any tension, releasing any thoughts that have been bothering you today. Picture clouds floating in the sky. Allow any negativity to float away with the clouds, floating off into the distance. Just to take some time here and breathe, inhaling, and as you exhale, release any tension. As you take a deep inhale here, and as you exhale, open your eyes if they were closed. Inhaling together. Exhaling, shoulders relax from your ears. Last time together with a deep inhale. And exhale. Again, my name is Stacy with Aspen Yoga. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to subscribe and like, and I will see you again next time.